I mean, there was nothing that I could imagine that I would have wished had gone differently.
They were just very nice to work with. They wanted to build our home the way we wanted it to be built. They wanted us to be able to choose the things that we wanted to have in our home and try to envision what our vision of the home would be.
I never imagined that we would really be able to build our own building, and I just always thought it was out of our reach.
I've been in practice for 18, going on 19 years. I've rented for 17. So I've thrown a lot of money down the drain. And with this building, I have a chance to be an owner in the whole building, rent my space, rent off the rest. So those other tenants help to pay, you know, to support the building. And we feel like we're pretty close to cash flowing, even though it's only 75% rented.
We're very open about the whole process, and it makes for an enjoyable experience. I tell people, you know, isn't it fun to go out and buy things? You know, buy clothes, buy furniture and everything. Why isn't buying a house the same way?
One thing that I really enjoy about McCarter-Moorehouse is, and in fact is the reason that I work for them, is because they insist upon the quality.
Well, our goal is to make people happy, and I feel that one of the reasons that we're a little different, we take each job like it's personal, like it's our house, and that's how we treat it.
Every professional who's in a lease that expires anytime between the next 12 to 36 months, that believes that their practice, whatever that practice may be, is going to grow in that same period of time, should be considering today looking into the idea of building their own building.
Everybody has an idea of what they would like, and everybody has a budget. And I tried to help them through each part of it to understand where their money's going and how much there is of it to spend.
Vicki at McCarter-Moorehouse was very open to any suggestions that I had. She knew that I had a particular vision as to what I wanted my building to be like, and so we were able to meet that. Any questions that I had, she walked me through whatever I needed.
By building that trust, we end up being, you know, friends with these people. You know, they do. They get a good job. They get a good deal. They get their money's worth. You know, they get a nice home. They know how it went together. There's no secrets.
You know, honestly, I thought there would be things where, you know, you'd have to watch them every minute and make sure they got everything right, and there's been nothing. I haven't found anything wrong yet, so, and we go through and look at it every night, and they always catch it beforehand.
People have this idea that if you put something out to bid and have 3 different bidders, you're always going to get the best price. That isn't necessarily so.
Yes, I was probably out here almost every day, at least, you know, maybe every other day, but kept a real close eye on what was going on and the steps, so make sure we had it all picked out exactly how we wanted. I think we went back several times with her and went over everything before we got to the point of the flooring or lighting. And
having good relationships with people that give you a good, fair price and that are a known quantity a lot of times save more money than trying to deal with a stranger or 3 strangers and trying to pick which is the best bid.
My sister and brother-in-law are remodeling right now. We told them, you know, be careful with who you go with. The lowest bid isn't always the way to go. But they chose to go with this other builder, and they've gotten their money's worth. They've had problems all along the way.
Owning my own building, what it's going to do for me over the next 10 to 15 years, this will be my retirement. If I were renting a location, all you're doing is dumping money into somebody else's pocket, but this is an investment for me.
The biggest thing that inhibits people from owning their own is the perception that it's going to cost them more up front.
It was cheaper for us to build our own building than it was to lease the facility we were in.
I think the reason, the most attractive reason to own versus lease is it makes you wealthier in the long run. It's that simple.
And it's something that I have options with down the road. If I wanted to sell my business, I can still keep my building and they can rent the building from me.
And, you know, you're going to spend the same amount of cash outflow or pretty close to it. When you've been leasing, you walk away and leave that equity with the landlord. When you own, that equity is yours. So you've created some wealth.
McCarter-Moorehouse, in comparison to what they've had to put up with, has been totally different, worlds apart.
I would recommend McCarter-Moorehouse. If I was to build again, I would use them, and if I knew of people that were looking for a builder, I would recommend them.
They've been very cost effective. I feel like any other builder, I think you would be spending a lot more money.
I would recommend McCarter-Moorehouse to someone who was looking to build their own facility.
Yeah, you know, you can't beat ownership. If you get a good product for the good money, it's going to appreciate over time.
I would definitely recommend McCarter-Moorehouse to any of my friends or family that wanted to build a home.
My husband and I, whenever we said to anyone, we had a positive experience with a builder, and people are like, no way.